The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The following program contains mature content. Any opinions expressed are those solely of the host and any guests. Listener discretion strongly advised.
And welcome, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Weiss Thoughts. Each episode of Weiss Thoughts is an unfiltered, uncensored opinion podcast. You'll never know what you're going to hear when you tune in. And that being said, I'd also want you to check out my website. Go to weissthoughts.com. That's weissthoughts.com. Just make sure you spell my name right. W-Y-C-E. What are we going to talk about on this episode of Weiss Thoughts? My thoughts on getting older in America today. It's all coming up, this and so much more on Weiss Thoughts. So grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, a cushion, or just have a seat around our virtual campfire, and we're going to talk about getting older in America. This time on Weiss Thoughts, coming up right after this. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the show. If you want to contact me, you can tweet at me on Twitter at Terry Weiss. You can also follow me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Weiss Thoughts. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, just search for Weiss Thoughts on YouTube. Now, let's get back to the show. Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to Weiss Thoughts. So glad you decided to join us today. And how are you out there? I know it's been a little while here. The show has been, the past probably month, the show has been a little sporadic, to say the least. And there is reasoning behind that, as it were. A lot going on in my life right now. A lot going on both professionally and personally with the spring, which has sprung. The grass is growing, the winds are blowing, and all that here in the northeastern half of the United States. But however, wherever you may be listening from to Weiss Thoughts, we truly appreciate you. And hey, again, if you haven't, check out the new website, weissthoughts.com. Just make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E. weissthoughts.com. There's going to be some stuff coming up on the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and look for Weiss Thoughts, the YouTube channel as well. And for those of you, I have really not been on Rumble in probably 2 months, 3 months, but I am going to do some stuff from Rumble, some exclusive stuff for Rumble, where we can talk more candidly and freely and open, shall I say, about a bunch of stuff that unfortunately the Google gods seem to censor on YouTube. So Rumble is going to be the uncensored stuff and commentary, where YouTube is more like, very watered down Weiss Thoughts, I should say. It's mostly about music and things that music related and goofy shit and stuff like that. So there's the lowdown and the mowdown on that. So how you doing, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire? Haven't seen you in a while. You doing good? The family okay? Good. There's some cold and flu viruses going around in the spring. We're no longer talking about what, the plague of death, supposedly. But there are some cold and flu viruses going around there. I guess another form of strep throat. But again, I am not a medical professional, nor do I claim to be one. I have no medical training. If you're feeling unwell, please go see your physician, your primary care, or whatever. Get medical advice from a medical expert. I am just a Joe Schmo nobody, or a Terry nobody at this point. But anyway, howdy ho, folks, one and all, and we are glad you're here. And what else? I picked up a couple new basses. Yeah, I'm really getting into the bass guitar, man. Picked up a couple American-made basses, and I'm really enjoying that. I've purchased. I have had in the past, Mexican-made Fender basses, but I splurged in the past 2 months, and I have purchased a American standard bass, which it was a lot of money, but we're talking almost normally that bass is about $1,700. I got it for $1,100 on a great deal, and it's the perfect color I wanted. It's a P bass. For those of you who know anything about bass and instruments, one of the icons of the music industry and in the bass guitar is the P bass. It's appeared on more records than you can care to count, for those of you who care about such things. And so that's good, and we're happy for that. And then I got another one, an American, American Player, but both of them were built in California and have that American craftsmanship, and boy, you pay for it. And you definitely... You're ringing that cash register a lot when you pay for those, I'll tell you. but they're happy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what my bank account and pocketbook said. But they're all bought and paid for. I own them. So I didn't put them on any kind of payment plans or anything like that. But that's, I'm going to be, if you go over to weissthoughts.com on YouTube, you'll see a couple probably YouTube short videos. I am going to do a longer video on it and some song tutorials with the new basses for the bass guitar as well, and doing some guitar stuff here coming up on the next 30 days or so. We are into spring, as they say, into the month of April. Hooray, hooray. And I'll tell you, April Fool's has has nothing on the way this country is being run, but I digress. We want to get to the topic of hand, but about growing older in America and my thoughts on growing older in America in this day and age. And I'm going to give you some thoughts on that, and maybe you can contact me with some of your thoughts and feelings on that as well. It's just, it's different growing older in this day and age than it has over the past few decades. But before that, I want to just bring up something really kind of cool here on the internet. Click on that for you. Some people have a genetic condition that allows them to see in nearly 100 million colors. I came across this on the internet here. It says, researchers estimate that some 300 people around the world are colorblind. Most of them are male. On the opposite end of that spectrum, however, are those with an exceedingly rare genetic condition that allows them to see nearly 100 million colors, or 100 times as many as the rest of us. It is called tetrachromacy. I think that's how I pronounce it. It's Tetrachromacy. How would you pronounce it? Tetrachromacy, or supervision. We'll just call it supervision. And it's the result of having 4 types of cone cells in the retina rather than the usual 3. So that extra cone cell in your retina, cones help our eyes detect light and are the key to color vision. Because of the way the condition is passed down via the X chromosome, the mutation occurs exclusively in women. Sorry, dudes, we're left out, I guess. Women can get this and see an extra, few million colors. One of the tetramat, or one of these supervision women, describes her ability this way. If you and I look at a leaf, I may see magenta running around the outside of the leaf, or turquoise in certain parts where you would just see the dark green. Where the light is making the shadows on the walls, I'm seeing violets and lavenders and turquoise, and you're just seeing gray. In short, the women with this supervision see colors within colors, and even the tiniest change in the color balance of a particular hue will be apparent to them. It's estimated that 12% of the women have a 4th retina cone, but only a fraction of them experience the supervision in total. So only about 1% of the humans have this condition, 1% of the women around the world. The rest of us will just have to close our eyes and imagine what it's like. I thought you might find that interesting. Something really kind of cool, this supervision for women. It's like, wow, man. Just when I think being a human being couldn't be any more cooler, here we go. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to take a quick sip here. Carbonated water. Nothing like a little good old-fashioned carbonated flavor water. I don't think that's called soda water. It's just carbonated sparkling beverages is what they call it. I'm having a sparkling beverage. So anyhow, let's get to the topic of hand. Oh, by the way, if you want to email me, it's mail, M-A-I-L, mail@weissthoughts.com. You can tweet at me on Twitter at Terry Weiss, W-Y-C-E, at Terry Weiss on Twitter, and Facebook.com/Weiss Thoughts. The YouTube channel's Weiss Thoughts. And on Rumble, it is at Terry Weiss on Rumble. So there we go. Okay, we got all that. We said enough about that. We had our little ditty there of in the know, useless info, but kind of cool though with being able to see different colors. So what's it like to get older in America nowadays? As I have hit middle age, and I'm in my 50s, and trying to live my best life now, but definitely some challenges. I mean, there's one thing I noticed about growing older in America, especially since I've hit my midlife here. I'm in my mid-50s, let's say. I'm the opposite side of mid-50s, heading towards 60, but I still got a little ways to get there yet, is that one thing right off the bat, physically I noticed, especially those that are around my age, do you notice that, you do something and 2 and 3 days later, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Oh, why does that hurt? And stuff it never used to bother you, whether it's, shoveling or, raking or certain types of gardening or what have you. Now, I know some of you out there are going to say, well, lard ass, you're just lazy and out of shape. No, I'm really not in that bad of a shape. I do workouts like 5 days a week, mostly cardio stuff and everything like that. And I think this is just a byproduct of getting older. And it's just one of those things, the human body is, responding genetically, the way the good Lord intended, I suppose. And it is, unfortunately, heading that way. So it takes more for those of us that are a little older than some of you that listen to us out there. It takes us more determination, more oomph, more grit to maintain a peak performance, shall I say. My libido hasn't slowed down any, so the wife's happy about that. My libido, I'm still as frisky as ever. It's just that, man, I've done something, and I'll do something, and then 2 or 3 days, I'll have this pain. I'm trying to think, what did I do? No, I didn't hit my hand, my arm against this. Why is my forearm sore there, or this or that, or gosh, my leg or my back's a little achy. And then, oh yeah, I was doing that. I was raking the leaves. I was, moving that. I was, moving some wood around or whatever, And I'm like, oh no. And now I realize, yeah, that's what I was doing. And then, the brain catches up, and there you go. One thing I do know too, as far as getting older, I really enjoy naps. I mean, I used to take them in my 20s and 30s too, and even my 40s, but you know what? I loves me a good nap. Just give me even a 15-minute, what do they call them? Cat naps. Even a 15-minute cat nap. I loves me a good nap. And I'll tell you what, there's scientific research that says they're good for you at any age, but especially for those of us that have gained in years a little bit, that they're actually not bad. They're pretty damn good for you to do that. It kind of gives your body a reset and a refresh throughout the day. So if you can take a nap, I'm not saying get up, eat breakfast, and go take a nap. No, get up, do your shit, do what you got to do your stuff there. And then, if you have a chance in the afternoon, if you, take a 15, 20-minute or 30-minute nap. I wouldn't say no more than a 30-minute nap. And again, I'm not a medical person, so don't take this as medical advice or anything like that. I'm just saying, I found personally, if I go any longer than 30 minutes, I wake up a little groggy. I'm like, well, is it still, what day is it? Sometimes, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I just kind of, you don't want to lose all that time. I mean, so 15 to 30 minutes is always a good thing. Always a good thing on the nap front, my friends. And that's helping. I'm finding I'm enjoying that as I get older in America. Another thing I'm finding about getting older in America is I have less tolerance for bullshit. And, I know this isn't a physical thing per se. The cord is bothering the hell out of me, Mr. Producer. Thank you. But what I mean is I just got less time for people's bullshit. And I found when I was younger, I could put up with more stuff. But again, as I gain in years, I just got less and less time for people's bullshit. And it's just one of those things that I'll cut you loose, man. I mean, I'll try and put up with so much for so long, and I will give you an honest, hey, you're kind of ticking me off, et cetera, but if you just push it too far, I'm going to be like, yeah, peace out, man. I'm done with you, because life's too short, and I just got other things to do than be drawn into people with, drama, and things of that nature. And I really don't, I don't have the time. By the way, Mr. Producer just flashed something up on the screen here for me. Just to shamelessly promote my updated website, weissthoughts.com. Many of you are visiting at this time and have been. I mean, we got people from all over the globe. And that, like I said, there you can listen to episodes. And by the way, check out the blog, Weiss Life. Just click on the blog at the top of the page there under one of the subheadings, and you'll see, pretty much weekly updates, sometimes twice a week, but pretty much weekly updates. It's called Weiss Life is the name of the blog, and I just pontificate on different things. But people in Sydney, Australia are there visiting on the website, Budapest, all over the place, Rome in the United States as well. They're doing it. I mean, it's a great thing. And so check that out. Thank you, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, for flashing that up in my face. But anyway, getting back to getting older in America, just less patience for bullshit. And speaking of bullshit, I'm going to say it. And if it costs me listeners to this podcast, or if you think less of me, well, you're certainly entitled to your opinion. But I am a supporter of President Trump. I actually thought he was a pretty damn good president, all things considered. I thought there were times he shouldn't have engaged with the simpletons on Twitter and that, but he's just again, me, and for those of you who've listened to the podcast, he's a staunch businessman who doesn't have time for bullshit. But now this crap of them wanting to indict him in New York, it's silliness. And again, things I don't have time for bullshit. Some people on there who have Trump derangement syndrome are like, oh yeah, cheering around. It's like simple Simons. But anyway, I don't want to. I'm going to do a show about that in the not too distant future as that story develops, I'm sure. But anyway, getting older in America, just less time for silliness and bullshit and arguing with simpletons and that. And it's not that I'm trying not. I'm not trying to sound condescending when I say something like that. And believe me, it's not, okay? It's just that I don't have, time for silly nonsense anymore. And it seems like there's a lot of people and organizations out there that just want to go silly stuff, and I don't have time for it. Being drawn into battles on social media. If you're looking for me to fight you on social media, okay, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook, you're going to be waiting a long time. I might say a couple little things, but other than that, I'm not going to engage with people living in their basement, eating Pop-Tarts, don't have a job, or maybe you have a job and you just, have nothing better to do. I don't know. I don't care. I've got other things more important to do with my life, like making music, making friends, making memories, and enjoying however long the good Lord gives me on this planet. And that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm concentrating on. So, that being said, very little patience. And then, some people say, well, maybe, Terry, you're becoming a bitchy, crotchety old man. I don't think so. I think I've just have enough life experience and enough credits earned in my life to say I've got other priorities. Your priorities change as you get older. And some of you younger people or people that are, not as old, listening to this podcast, you're going to find how you thought in your 20s, once you reach your 30s, some things are going to change, okay? Some fundamental things and thoughts. It's a natural progression of things. It's just naturally how life goes. Things are going to change. Also, nutritionally wise, we were talking about aches and pains and things of that nature. There's some foods that I used to enjoy that now I just either A, don't have an interest in, or B, just give me heartburn, and I'm like, well, it's not worth the trouble eating that. I mean, that's another thing. Your food desires, your taste buds maybe they change. I don't know, but there's some things I used to love, and now I'm like, or some things that I still like that I could eat without any issues or concerns. In my younger days, seems like over the past decade, they like, give me some indigestion, whether it's burping or farting or whatever, But the other thing with getting older, I have found your allergies can come back, as I have found out over the past 5+ years. My hay fever and, and what do they call it? Rhinitis? Something where you can get postnasal drip from allergies, but it's not all out. But sometimes I'll sneeze 15, 16, 18 times in a row during hay fever and allergy season. And my one eye will water, the one eye will be dry, and I'll be hacking and coughing and coughing and hacking and coughing. And I have talked with my doctor. In fact, I just had my physical just 3 short weeks or so ago, and everything looks pretty good. He wants me to lose a few more pounds, though. Again, we're on that 20-pound kick. Although good news, I am down to about 216. So good news there. We're in the 216s, down from a lifetime high of 226.5. So we're down, but we want to get under 200. That is the goal by summer, or, at least the end of summer. So we're getting there. 16 more to go, 17 more to go, gang. And we'll be down, 199 is the goal. That's what we're looking at, 199er. And then after that, we're going to go for 195, then we're going to go to 190. And the ultimate pit stop we want to get down to is about 185. So that's what we're looking for. Anywho, everything in baby steps, man. Rome wasn't built in a day. My fat ass didn't get fat in a day. It took time, and a lot of stuff and the wrong things. But anyway, your body can change as you get older as well, getting older in America. Allergies. I don't know if there's more pollen in the air, more pollutants in the air or what, but I've noticed that, your skin changes when you get older too. Sometimes if you didn't have dry skin, now or certain areas of your body can get dry, and I'm like, I find I'm using more, like aloe vera cream here and there. And I'm not saying on my hands or that, but like places, dudes, guys, and maybe women as well. But, on your neck, especially like the sides of your neck or where your neck meets your body. And I don't use harsh soaps. I use tea tree oil soap and stuff, but it's just like those areas seem to get drier quicker. Oh, especially in the winter when it's dry and we're in the house there with the forced air heat. Oh, man. Lordy, does it get dry, and then you itch like a doggone cat with fleas. Love that grape. This show is brought to you today by Grape Sparkling Carbonated Water. That's good stuff. So, there's a lot to deal with getting older in America, too. You've got to, recheck and reevaluate your retirement plans. Are you allocating money? And God, in this market nowadays here in 2023, where are you going to put your money? I'm thinking about just getting a fucking mattress and hollowing it out and start sticking it in there, because the stock market, woo, have you watched that over the past couple months? Up, down, all over the place. Thankfully me and the missus have some things set up and, some hard, good, durable goods things and some equity and some things, but who knows, man? The way things are going overseas with Russia teaming up with China and some of those people over there, if you're into Bible prophecy, it's kind of foretold in the Bible prophecy in the end days that the bear will team up with I forgot the symbol for China, but I believe it's the same thing, that they team up and World War III may be coming. We may be seeing the beginnings of it. I don't know. And if it comes, it's not going to be pretty for any of us. So who knows? Having a retirement account might not be shit. You might want to have some guns and ammo and food stored up and know how to hunt and fish and grow your own food. And who knows? I don't know. I can't predict the future. If I could, I would have won that Powerball about 10 times now. But there's a lot of things when it comes to growing old in America. A lot of things to look out for. The other thing, too, is the younger generation just doesn't really seem as respectful. And I know that's going to sound like an old fuddy-duddy thing, where, oh, Terry, it's just you're being an old fart. No. Sorry, a little more for the pipes there. I'm really trying to be tolerant. I'm a lot more tolerant than my parents were. My parents were a lot more tolerant than their parents were. And I consider myself pretty tolerant on a lot of things, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this world that I see with how the younger generations, I'm talking people in their teens and 20s, are treating those of us that are older. A good majority of you, at least my feeling and consensus is that you just don't give a fuck about the older generation. And I'll tell you what, we've got a lot to offer you. We've got a lot of experience. We've lived through some shit. Okay, we know some things and we lived through some shit and we know some stuff. Don't throw out that knowledge. It's like going, you wouldn't take your car to a mechanic that doesn't know anything, that just got fresh out of, getting their license and reading out of a book. You want somebody who's got some experience and seen some things. And honestly, folks, the older generation, you little youngins out there, we got something to offer. I'm not saying we're right on everything or the be-all, end-all, but, there's some knowledge here. I always like to learn from my elders, even people older than me, and I even listen to some of you young squirts as well. But, again, don't discount us older generations here in America. We've got some insight to give you, and we can maybe even help you, give you a few warnings, and you can heed a few warnings so to save you some heartbreak. But I don't know. But hey, folks, that's about all for this time on the show. I appreciate you listening, and we're going to catch you next time on Wise Thoughts. Hey, thanks for listening to the program today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you out there. And remember, to see a change in the world, you have to be the change in the world you want to see. It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror every morning. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. If you want to tweet at me on Twitter, it's at Terry Weiss. Stop by the website, weissthoughts.com, just to make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, weissthoughts.com. And hey, leave us a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast provider, won't you? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets about Weiss Thoughts. And I look forward to gathering yet again around the virtual campfire with you real soon. Take care.